I mean, like, how much longer you think you're gonna be able to keep doing this?
I don't know how long I can go without sex.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads, baby. And for those of you returnees, you ain't got the minerals. You ain't got the minerals. Get yourself a hoodie if you know what it is. Alright, cool. So, listen, we're going to talk to you guys about Too Hot to Handle episode 3. We're going to break down Sharron and Rhonda. Interesting enough, obviously everybody trying to stay true to the rules, right? And we get to see Sharron and Rhonda get up in the middle of the night. Actually, it's Sharron who actually wakes up Rhonda in the middle of the night to go and have a conversation. Now, let me just be very frank. They're sleeping in different beds. So for you to wake her up in the middle of a night, it must be important. So for you to wake her up in the middle of the night to tell her that you're horny, yeah, I knew straight away that in the back of Rhonda's mind, she's probably thinking about, does this guy really want me or does he want my body?
A nightmare needs soothing? Oh no, he's just horny.
Because as much as he's desiring her, you know, she's going to get into a place where she's going to start to realize, actually, I don't know if this guy's being genuine with his actual feelings towards me, which is what we see towards the end of the show. Anyway, he outs himself. But yeah, so they were obviously sitting in the room alone, and she was sitting on his lap, and it was quite interesting because he's like, I'm about to get in the shower. I don't know what he's about to get in the shower for. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever. He's about to get into the shower, right? And if you look at his posture, he's actually looking away from her, right? I know it's early in the morning, maybe he's rubbing his eye or whatever he's doing, but he's looking away from her when he delivers this line. There's a reason why he delivers this line with him looking away. The whole purpose is that if I say it and look in your face, then I have to bring a genuinity to it, right? And he knows he's messing around. He knows that he's being foolish. He knows that what he's doing is off key, right? Because to wake you up in the middle of the night to then tell you I'm horny, it's not like when you're sleeping in the same bed, you know what I mean? And you kind of wake each other up in the middle of the night and things kind of lead one thing to another, right? If that was the case, different. But the fact is you've had to wake up from your bed, get up, come across the room, wake her up like it was something important. Do you understand? So when he then starts talking, he knows he's off key, right? So he's like, I'm about to get into the shower. And what he wants to do is get her to think on his line of thinking, which is he wants her to think less about the rules and more about the desire that she's feeling, the heat that she's feeling, right? Because whatever he's feeling, he wants to project it onto her so that she can feel the exact same way so he can have his way. That's the absolute truth of it. And so you see that obviously, as he makes a request, Rhonda has her arms folded pretty much the whole way through, apart from when she's stroking his face later on, but she has her arms folded the whole entire time. For me, this is very key. She's keeping her hands to herself, right? I don't even want to say closed body language. I want to say that she's keeping her hands to herself intentionally. I already said to you guys already about Rhonda. She's more invested in physical intimacy than sexual intimacy. Then he said, obviously, you can join me if you want. And then he finally looks up. So when he's obviously saying the line that he's horny, he's about to get into the shower. He's looking away. He finally looks up when he says, you can join me. You can join me in the shower. And Rhonda lets out a small smile, yeah, but she doesn't really let off any words. So it's a little bit, the smile's a little bit cheeky. She thinks about it, and then she's like,
In the shower? You can join me if you want.
And she's not all the way convinced. And this is what we're seeing from a lot of the women now. Now the rules are we shouldn't be having sex. What you're seeing is exactly what the devil did in the Garden of Eden. When there was a rule there, what the Satan wanted to do was to get the woman to break the rule, right? And so what we're seeing is the men becoming like how Satan was, to tempt the woman out of staying true to the rule. But what you're seeing is that these women are now starting to see that as the rule is implemented, these boys have to come correct. If they come on a sex thing, yeah, now there's a rule to break. Do you understand? If they come on a sex thing, you can now analyze, okay, hold on a minute. Is this guy genuine? So this is a poignant part of relationships that women need to understand. The standard is that there shouldn't be sex in before this time. If you keep that standard, you get to see where men are coming from. And this is why Sharron exposed himself in this episode so early on. And then he turns to look at her and he gives her this look of desire. And I think a lot of women sometimes confuse this look of desire and this want for actually the person really wanting you, totality. Yeah, what he's looking at you with is lustful eyes, and it feels good. Don't get it twisted. It's sexual. It's hot. It's heated. It's lovely, right? It's good to be wanted. We all want that feeling. But does he want you? Or does he want your body? Does he want you? Or does he want your pissoir? Does he want you? Or does he just wants to enter the garden? Do you understand? Does he really want your mind? Does he want your soul? Does he want your dreams? Does he want your ambitions? That's a key question, right? And then obviously he goes and say like, that he can't stop thinking about sex. And then in regards to her question, he says, look, at the end of the day, I'm a guy.
Breaking point now.
Man, at the end of the day, I'm a guy. Not that we're weak or anything.
I want to just put this across. Any woman listening to that, hearing a guy say, I'm just a guy, you should run. And here's why. Because that's the same terminology and theology that a man uses when they cheat. But I'm a guy. You know how guys are. We can't. No, we don't know how guys are. Guys are just like women. Both of you are horny. You understand? Both of you are heated. Both of you feel like you want sex. That's okay. It's a natural desire. But now they told you a rule is do not have sex. And then you're the one you're progressing it and perpetrating it, trying to get her to break the rule, right? And then you want to flip it by saying, oh, because he's a man, and we think about this all the time. So what it does, it gets the girl to think, okay, you know how men are then. So I got to feed him to make him feed me. And I told you already, no, giving over your body for commitment doesn't work. Had Rhonda given over her body already, should have been finished because she would have got no commitment from him. He's not even ready to commit. Do you understand? But they woke up in the middle of the night to have this conversation, Middle of the night. And what I noticed that Rhonda never took her eyes off him. And what she was doing was studying him. Yeah, she wasn't saying much, but she was studying and observing. And what she's doing, she's trying to calculate in her mind, what is this? Right? And the only bad thing about women sometimes, what happens is, as they study and observe, they forget what they study and they almost want to deny what they've seen. Right? So they will see something and be like, no, that ain't right. No, that's not right. That's not right. That's not the kind of guy I should be with. But because obviously feelings and emotions get involved, they then forget what they've observed and seen. And so then they forget the training that they've put themselves into, and then then the guy obviously ends up winning. And it's just like Satan. Again, Satan just began to start twisting. And so this is exactly what Sharron is doing right now, where he's saying, and then he asks her, how horny are you? How long are you looking to last for? Right? Everything, he's twisting everything. He's not telling lies. He's twisting everything. Right? The rule was we can't have sex. He's trying to bend it, just like Satan bent it for Eve and saying, oh, did God say you can't eat the fruit from the tree? Are you sure? Like you'll be like gods, So the bending of that rule, to get them to break it and disobey. And he's doing the exact same thing. He goes on to say, oh, sex is like brushing your teeth. No, it's not. Sex is not like just brushing your teeth. It's not that. It's not that. You've made sex to be a part of your arsenal and weaponry.
But sex is like brushing your teeth.
It is, but...
as your day-to-day necessity. Because it covers up the pains that you're feeling. It's become a drug to you, Sharron. And now this drug that gives you the high, you're not getting it, and you start to feel the Joneses. Now, all of a sudden, the truthfulness of how you really feel, the lack of commitment, the pains that you feel from the past, wounded, betrayal, you're not able to get over, and you're not able to commit to this woman here. You like her, and yet you can't put your best foot forward because of what you experienced. And again, I got proved right. I got proved right when I said about that Sharron, that Rhonda. If she was to offer her body, it would be under expectation. Because now the rule's there. She's like, I don't want to break the rule, and I don't want to spoil what we have. At that point, Sharron realized, either I got up the game or I got to leave this alone. Because I've got one objective. My objective was to have sex. My objective wasn't to fall in love. And so what you're seeing is that now the difference in expectation is going to start to play itself. And because they've not had sex, because they've been able to speak about this, it's come to fruition. And the truthfulness of what people feel has come to light. And as it's come to light, you can now begin to make sensible decisions, right? Because wisdom is about being able to execute judgment and make sound decisions. You can't do that when you're having sex. You can't do that because there's confusion. There's another piece of information coming through which is clouding your judgment, right? And then obviously we see Rhonda. We see obviously Sharron, again, he's rubbing his eyes again, he's looking away, and then he asks the question again, once more, whilst he's looking away. This is the twice he's done this now.
How much longer you think you're going to be able to keep doing this?
See, so what he's doing right now is throwing out baited questions. Throwing out baited questions to see what response he's going to catch. You understand? So he wants to see, is she also feeling weak? Then he can begin to really work on it, right? But if she's feeling weak, and he can then begin to prey on her weakness, yeah, and he won't be considered a bad person because they both wanted it, right? But if she's staying strong, he has to then break walls down before he gets there. You understand? And when he's breaking walls, he knows that's going to come with expectation. But if she's not got no guard up and she's willing to give it up, then there's no foul play. So men understand this. When there's walls and hoops to go through, they know there's expectation coming because they have to spend time and be focused on you. Do you understand how important it is? That's why I like things like, you know, having sex on a first date. Yes, it's not all the time that, you know, it's going to cause the man not to want to stay or anything, or, you know, giving it up on the first date is going to make a man stay. But it gives you a better chance. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't know what that guy's intention is. So if you're giving up on a first date, it means he's got no hoops to jump through. And when I say hoops, I mean getting to know you, who you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very important. And just to say, like, again, if she says something like, oh, you know, I'm feeling kind of weak, I might not last a day or two, he knows that now he can begin to knock on the door and begin to hit it. And also it means it gives him a time scale he's able to work with, meaning that he can still wait a little bit longer because he knows that at the end there's going to be a promise. You understand? That his hard work will not be in vain. Do you understand? That's very, very important. Anyway, guys, remember what I said at the end of it. Rhonda then said, you know what? She doesn't see him just as sex. She sees him as just more. And I want to say to you guys, listen, think before you do. Don't do before you think, or be thinking about what you've been doing. Do you understand? Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. Little Black Book.